it's not very easy to, stop a shark and then just say, oh, is there any chance we could just swab your gills really quick, run that through the testing machine.
We're diving into some pretty interesting waters with these rumors of these cocaine-fueled sharks. Tell me a little bit about this rumor that you're chasing in this new Shark Week special.
I mean, it certainly is a rumor, but I don't think at any point that it's a fact waiting to be proved, I think is what the best way to say is. I mean, we're looking at a very small, very shallow, very active, biologically speaking, area of water between South Central America and then the Florida Keys. And, it's no rumor that they are shipping a ton of drugs, and these things are constantly going overboard. Sharks are going to come into contact with it, either directly by biting and ingesting, or indirectly. If one of these bags, one of these bales gets damaged and starts to leak, then you're going to get this diffusion into the the local vicinity. So it's no rumor for me. It's waiting to be proved is what it is.
So going in, obviously you're hopeful to prove this. What are you looking for? How are you looking to track down the truth?
Well, this is the tricky thing. Now, we are having to look at behavior, because it's not very easy to stop a shark and then just say, oh, is there any chance we could just swab your gills really quick, run that through the testing machine. Doesn't happen. And they're not swimming around with great noses full of Charlie either. So you have to go on their behavior. And while that can be very, very telling, you can see a shark isn't acting correctly. The tricky bit then is trying to sort of marry up the behavior with what's causing the behavior. And so that's the hard bit. But that is behavioral studies in general. It's so difficult to prove things black and white, because we never really know what's going on and why it's going on. So going out there, at the first step of what I think could be a very, very long set of research, going out there is looking for weird sort of queer behaviors in sharks that we wouldn't expect, and going, now then, why what's going on here, what is this behavior, and start building up a sort of an idea of what the sharks are doing and what they shouldn't be doing.
Now, what are some of these behaviors that you're noticing, that you're looking for, that are you think are cocaine fueled?
Well, your standard shark, pretty much across the board, should be very, very smooth, very, very easy, chilled out. They swim in such a relaxed manner, and then sort of bursts of speed are pretty much usually reserved for either interspecies interaction. So when other sharks come along and they want to say, get out of it, sunshine, or they're going for prey, that kind of thing. So sharks really are, smooth, calm waters, and then this sort of peak of speed. What we're looking for is things that just don't add up. So sharks that are, way more interested in us than normal, because 999 times out of 1,000, when you get in the water with sharks, doesn't matter how big or small they are, they just want to get away from you. They're just not interested. And you're a big thing. They think, whoa, it's a predator. So they try and get away. So that's one thing, is looking for sharks that are coming in close to humans, and and also comparing that with their behavior. So we know things like reef sharks are pretty inquisitive, lemon sharks pretty inquisitive, so you'd expect them to sort of come in and see what's going on. Things like hammerhead sharks, really quite shy. You'd see them from a great distance. So what are these doing? What are these kind of sharks doing? Are they in close? Are they far away? So that's the sort of the first thing we're looking at, is to see, are they smooth? Are they swimming well? Or are they being a little bit, kicking off and sort of chewing their way through the wallpaper?
Yeah, a little peaky there.
Yeah, a little peaky. That's very true. Yeah.
Now, what would the implications be of tracking down whether or not this behavior is tied to the cocaine that's in the water?
Well, you've got sharks have been around on this planet since before trees. Sharks have been around on this planet since before flowers. Okay, so as far as a steady hand at the tiller, controlling influence on this planet, that's sharks. And put it this way, you wouldn't get into a car if you knew the driver was off his tits. It's the same with sharks. You just, if the top predators in these ecosystems are, wrong, they are messed up, then that means that the way that they act on predator-prey relationships is going to change. They will, or they may start losing interest in things like reproduction. It's a real kind of, it's a diversion from their true behaviors. And because they are so vital to the ecosystems, if we've got sharks not turning up for work, doing their 9 to 5, then the oceans are in trouble.
Yeah. So it's kind of this semi-humorous concept, but when we dig down deep, it's actually quite dangerous.
It is. It's very, it's very serious in terms of, obviously, we're looking at the kind of the big hit in the fact that we've got, cocaine and the sharks coming into contact with it very directly. But a bigger problem, and one that we've been seeing across the globe, certainly in westernized cities now for a couple of years, although studies are just going into it, are the amount of illicit and recreational drugs that are passing through us into our wastewater and then making their way down river. So, somewhere, again, like Florida on the coast, or at least, certainly the Florida Keys is on the coast, there's so much then going into the waters, and that's affecting the predators. But also, if it's going into the fish and then you're eating the fish, it's coming back to you. So, it really is the sort of the top of a really, really big iceberg on how all these things are connected, and just where the chemicals that we're consuming, where are they going, and what impacts are they having?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're almost out of time, but we've got to talk about Great White Fight Club. Just briefly, can you tell us a little bit about what that's about?
I was out there with my good mate, Michelle. She was kicking ass as being the queen of sharks that she is. The girl's amazing, just living La Vida Loca as like Sharky Queen. And she said, look, we're doing some cold water diving fish. I need a cold water diving expert. And I went, I'm your fish. And so we turned up. We did some quality mad diving out in New Zealand. It was winner chicken dinner, and we started messing around with some very interesting odds and sods. Again, looking at behavior. So you've got to interpret the really key little things in that. So lovely to be working with Michelle. She is one of the creme de la creme of the shark people in the world. The girl's an absolute legend.
Well, I can't wait for everyone to see both of your specials this Shark Week. Thank you so much for talking with me today.